Underneath Miami's Route 95, these kids are learning math on skateboards.
Is a math lesson really worth risking a broken arm?
Definitely.
For some kids, sitting in a classroom with a teacher is scarier than them dropping in.
In a traditional classroom, we're not teaching towards passions, but teaching towards a test, and that's a problem.
And the formula isn't taking the classroom out of the equation. We just want to switch it up a bit, and this is what our classroom looks like.
This is Surf Skate Science, an after-school learning program that Toni and Uli say is designed to reach the 40% of students who thrive with hands-on learning. But they also believe this environment can unlock something even more important.
If we're creating future adults that are doing things they're passionate about, we're creating people that are going to change the world.
Every year, over 2,500 kids dive into this program. And today, I'm strapping in with them to see firsthand how they're discovering their passions.
This is Stand Together Presents. Stories, ideas, and advice from changemakers tackling our biggest challenges.
So, I'll admit, I'm not really a daredevil. And these kids are way more courageous than I am.
Wow, this is really nerve-wracking.
So before I go to class, I wanted to understand what kinds of students thrive in this environment.
So tell me more about how you were as a student.
Impossible. It was really hard for me to sit still. It drove a lot of people crazy. I had a hard time paying attention. It didn't make much sense. And when, there were times where I did really well, but that was because I was like inspired by something.
For Uli, that inspiration didn't come until he left school and had an epiphany while building concrete pools.
As soon as there was a purpose behind it, I realized that math is it's a pattern of numbers, and it's all around us. And I remember sitting there going, man, you can skate these things, Think about your circumference, find your radius, and then draw out the circle. And it clicked.
What we learned is that by high school, 1/3 of kids are disengaged in their learning. My husband really struggled with math, and he was just told he was bad at math. And that's not true. He just learned a different way.
So how do you build a program to reach learners like Uli? These innovators believe one way is to start in a passionate environment.
So Surf Skate Science very simply is us turning a local beach or a local skate park into a classroom through hands-on learning. So a normal day at Surf Skate Science, we set up a mobile classroom, and then we do 45 minutes of a hands-on science or STEAM-based lab.
Hey everybody, welcome to Surf Skate Science. I'm so excited to get started today. So last week we talked a little bit about math and ramps. So you learned about the curves and the diameter of the ramps. But today we're going to talk a little bit more about the architecture and what goes into skateboarding.
So every class, we have a few minutes to go over the main subject of what we're teaching that day. And then they're given a challenge. And in order to take on this challenge, they need to understand what we spoke about at the beginning. That helps me to see that they're actually learning the subject. And then we go surf or skate. Uli and I believe that students discovering their passions is so important because when we're doing what we're passionate about, we're going to be thriving.
But does an afternoon at a skate park really inspire someone to discover a passion beyond extreme sports?
Today I'm making a skate ramp for fingerboards, and I made a mold out of cardboard.
Vince is 14 now, but back when he was in second grade, his teachers didn't quite know what to do with him.
The note says talking during a lesson, giving multiple warnings, talking in the hallway and under people's desks. When he's engaged in something that he's passionate about, he blows me away. But when you give him something he's not interested in, all that fades away.
But with the right encouragement, his mom saw Vince spending hours on this.
It's really simple shapes. I really enjoy doing stuff like this too. I get to see what my mind envisions.
The model that we just poured the concrete for, how did you figure out how to make that?
One of the mentors was just seeing that I was more interested in the architecture part of things. And he said, I can see that same spark in you that I found in myself a couple years ago. And then he gave me a free computer-aided design software. He showed me like the basis of how to use it. Oh, I definitely think I have a passion for architecture. It unlocked something in my brain that I didn't know existed. I think I'll probably keep going with it. It's just awesome to see where things can go when you have the right medium.
This is something that is like full circle for me because I mean, I get to get in the way, you know, and try to like encourage some of these kids that felt lost for me. Being an educator is probably the biggest honor ever because I enjoy working with kids. We're introducing them to something and it can become a passion. And when it does, it's like there's star in their eyes. You can see it.
A lot of times it's our limitations that we put in our own mind that stop us from being the person that we can become. That is why we love to use surfing and skateboarding for our learning mechanism, because I think it really teaches kids to have that confidence to pursue anything.
This was something I experienced too. And while not all of us will find our passion in skateboarding, there are real-life skills like perseverance being taught here.
But this is just one of the ways that you can get kids excited about learning and their passion. There's so many other ways. These kids are going into jobs in the future that haven't even been created yet. When we hone in on a kid's passions, we're creating happy adults that thrive and that hopefully are world changers because they're so passionate about what they do.
Stand Together partners with changemakers tackling our biggest challenges. To see more stories, follow our channels. And to learn more about how you can partner with us, go to standtogether.org.